Compliments of the season from the Nutmeg crew on Guardian TV. Welcome to the show today. It's been an absolute pleasure presenting the show for large parts of 2019 to you. But this is not our last show, but it is one very special one because today we're going to be having the top 10 Nigerian players of 2019. The Nutmeg crew came out together with a super duper list, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy it and be surprised by some of the names you see on the list. Dennis joins us again in the studio. It's great to have you today.
Always a pleasure, Solomon. 2019 has been an absolutely great year, and it's so pleasing. It's a wrap up already.
Yeah, fantastic. So just heading into the list now, we have interesting names, and I'm sure the person who is number 10 on our list is going to throw off some of our listeners, but I'm sure they're going to be sticking to us right till the very end to see who ends up number 1 on that
Absolutely.
list. So on number 10, you have Alex Iwobi, was the 10th best player according to the Nutmeg production team, and also I think myself too, for Nigeria. Alex Iwobi, what do you think?
I think it's absolutely deserving, and then a whole lot of people might be swinging towards the popularity side, saying Alex Iwobi is much popular, he should have done better on the list. But for me, number 10 is deserved for him, knowing that he's been very inconsistent for the year. You look at his performance during the Africa Cup of Nations, and as well is ever since he moved from Arsenal to Everton. I think he started about 15 games so far, just a goal and then no assist for him. I think number 10 is fit for Alex.
And at number 9, someone who's hit the ground running in the Serie A, playing at fullback and play both positions, both left and right, Olaino. And we saw him light up the Nigerian team just a couple of games ago. So what do you think?
Yeah, certainly. I think he deserves to be on the list, seeing that he's a versatile defender.
Exactly.
He can play from the right, he can as well play from the left. And then if you did look at his performances for the Super Eagles of Nigeria closely, you see that Olaino provided, I think, about 5 assists in about 7 matches for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. He was very pivotal during the team's outing at the Africa Cup of Nations, and also for his club side Torino. He has been a very consistent player for the team, and I think it's deserving.
Number 8, a defensive stalwart in every bit of that word, both for his club, that's at Udinese, and also for the Nigerian side. I think he played almost all games for the Super Eagles throughout the entirety of 2019. William Troost-Ekong.
Yeah, William Troost-Ekong, although you could want to call some of his bluff sometimes, when he's a bit shaking defensively, and also you see that sometimes he looks not so confident on the ball. But I think 2019 is a year that he sort of stake a claim, in that defensive position. And then also playing for the Super Eagles of Nigeria in one of the matches during the Africa Cup of Nations, a few defensive errors here and there. But then I think 2019 has been a great year for him. It's been a year that is at least, less of errors for him.
So moving over to the 7th person on the list is Semi Ajayi. It was wonderful, like the entirety of 2019, and even towards the end of 2019, we saw him grow in stature and even grow in appearances for the Super Eagles.
Yeah, you can always say that again, as well when you look at what he's brought to the national team of the Super Eagles of Nigeria ever since he's joined in, alongside William Troost-Ekong. He sort of provided a bit of stability, in the defense, seeing that a few matches that Nigeria has played, particularly the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers, we've seen that Nigeria, for a long time are beginning to look like a formidable side, from the defensive part, also is also been pivotal in connecting the ball, to the midfield. And then one extraordinary thing about him is that he's not just a defender that knows how to hinder the opponent. He's also a ball-playing defender, a defender that enjoys passing the ball around.
Yeah, interesting that you put it that way, because that was the second half of last season. That's from January down to July. It was at Rotherham, and he was playing primarily as a defensive midfielder for Rotherham, and he did really well. It was their player of the season, actually. And even for West Brom this season, he has played in all of their games, 23 games, and West Brom are top of the championship.
Yeah.
So I'm absolutely deserving for him to be at number 7. Number 6 is a name people might not know so much. That's Chidera Ejuke, who plays in the Eredivisie with Herenveen.
Yeah, he's been an absolutely phenomenal player. He's done well for himself ever since he joined the Eredivisie
Yeah, from Valeranga.
from the Norwegian league, and then he keeps on progressing, and then he's one of the players that I've been looking out for. Come sooner or later, he gets a call up into the Nigeria
Exactly,
Super
it is
Eagles
absolutely
side.
important he gets a call up because you're looking at the pacey players and the wildly fast players that we
Yeah,
have in the
quick
Super Eagles.
dribbles and the likes.
Exactly, bring him into that mix and whoa, it's going to be really, really massive. So that's the person on number 6 to number 5. Samuel Chukwueze, another fast pacey player again.
Yeah, Chukwueze, you can call his name over and over again, and then in the space of just 2019, Chukwueze has gone beyond that rookie player that everyone sort of likes, into like an household name in Nigeria, particularly in the Super Eagles of Nigeria. You look at this year so far, I think he was one of the revelational players for the year in 2019, and then also he has been nominated for Africa's Young Player of the Year by CAF, so, and he has also been attracting a lot of suitors, from the big sides. He reportedly Liverpool, we'll talk about Chelsea, and as well as Tottenham Hotspur out there in London. So, I just think 2019 has been an absolutely phenomenal year for Chukwueze, and if you put him on that list, I think he's deserving.
Now, number 4, another name that people might not know so much about, but he just recently declared that he's willing to play for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and that's why he's on this list. He's the top goal scorer, highest goal scorer in the Dutch league, and that's Cyril Dessers.
Dessers is an amazing striker, amazing goal scorer. He's also quick on the pace. Just like the players that the Super Eagles of Nigeria has currently. And then for me, what stands out for him is his consistency. Considering the sort of team that he's playing in, and then finding a way to always shoulder the responsibility of the team, scoring goals when it matters.
He has 12 goals
this season. He has 12 goals, I think, in about
31 games.
31 games. And then for me, it's not a bad record because, that tells you that, he's being the go-to man for the team.
Yeah, for Aerocos, that is. And number 4, you have another striker in there who was he actually retired this season from the national team. That's Odion Igalo.
Odion Igalo, serial goal scorer, and then you absolutely cannot fault his inclusion in this list. Saying that the Africa Cup of Nations, he was the top goal scorer with 5 goals, and then also during the qualifiers, he was also the top goal scorer. So that was Igalo telling the whole continent that if you think the goals I scored during the qualifiers were a fluke, I'm here to prove it again, and he did prove it. And then also do not forget that in the Chinese Super League, he's also been scoring goals. I think he scored about 10 goals so far now. And Odion Igalo is a great player.
Now, look into the top 2. Interestingly.
Yeah.
Now, top 2, the person in second, Victor Osimhen.
Yeah. Victor Osimhen in second. For me, before we came out for this, you did remember how I debated so much how Victor Osimhen is not even on the number 1. But being on number 2, I think he does not sort of demean his effort so far for this year, seeing that he continues to score goals, and then this same year, a lot of people have likened his style of play to that of Didier Drogba, only for the fact that he is more pacey, and then he's also a developing player. Currently now, he scored about 10 goals so far in the French League 1, 2 Champions League goals, 1 League Cup goal, and then about 4 goals so far for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Victor Osimhen is another player that you put up front there, and then you can be rest assured of goals.
I think what makes it even more interesting is the very fact that he has been consistent entirely all through the year, with Sporting Charleroi before he came to Lille, and also with the Super Eagles, although he didn't get much of a chance in the AFCON, and maybe that was what counted against him for him to end up second on this list. So for the person who is number 1, the great reveal.
Drums rolling.
Drum roll, yeah. Number 1 on our list of the top 10 2019 players for Nigeria, and that person is no other than Wilfred Ndidi.
Wilfred Ndidi, like if you can remember during our AFCON preview shows in this place, where I was reading out a tweet from someone that says if Wilfred Ndidi was to be a politician, probably who qualified to be Nigeria's Minister of Defense, you know, seeing the way that he has always shielded anything that is, let me put it in quotes, shieldable, you know, talk about his performance for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, especially in the English Premier League, where he continues to prove himself, you know, game in and game out. He's not let the team down, even despite changing managers. You know, right now he's doing it big for the team, managed by Brendan Rodgers. And then if you did look at the stats, you know, Wilfred Ndidi comes top in the, you know, in the league of defensive midfielders in the English Premier League. Top interception, top tackles. You know, his performances just continue speaking volumes of the great talent that we have in Wilfred Ndidi.
Yeah, indeed. So that's the wrap up of the top 10 Nigerian players for 2019. It's been an absolute pleasure talking with you over this.
Always a pleasure, Solomon.
So that's the Nutmeg's top 10 Nigerian players for 2019. Let me know in the comment section if you disagree with anyone there, or if you think one's placing is too high or too low. So let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching the Nutmeg on Guardian TV. If you're not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you should absolutely do that already, because there's awesome content all around for you on Guardian Nigeria. Thank you so much once again. My name is Solomon Fowe, and this has been the Nutmeg.